How's it going, guys? It's Death Monkey here. Today we're going to be talking about something really interesting, potentially promoting zombies in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now, this information that I've got for you today actually comes from Mr. Waffle Waffles, or Milo, who's a legendary Call of Duty Zombies YouTuber. Basically, he's actually found out some rather interesting information, potentially hint with this recent teaser image that recently got updated earlier today after the very first reveal of the live action trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now, as you guys can see, we got this image, which is slightly more higher definition than the one that's currently on the website. But anyway, we've got all sorts of various different teasers, whether it be talking about the Sally pistols themselves. There's like Sally 6, which is currently in the Modern Warfare 3 build in Warzone. There's also the Sally 8, which was the original back in the days of the original Black Ops. And as you guys can see, if you look carefully enough, codename Sally 7. So there is a 6, a 7, and an 8. We don't know what the pointers behind that, but that's really interesting to think about. Jackal POW, we're not exactly sure what this could be referring to at the moment. PRJJNS, this could potentially be referring to Project Janus, which is apparently actually referenced in the website I'm about to show you in a few minutes, but that's really interesting to think about there. But that's all besides the point. If you guys take a look very, very carefully, just next to where you've got like the gods, so you've got the word golf there, you've got 1911 written backwards for the M1911 pistols. But alongside that, you will notice if you zoom right in, you'll notice it mentions the word railway. Right here, where my cursor is, it's got the word railway. And further down, it's slightly distorted from what you guys will see on screen, but if you look very carefully enough, it actually does read out the word Chesapeake, which I'll come on to in a moment. So, I know you guys are probably thinking, what's this have to do with anything? So, if you guys look in the top left-hand corner of this image, you will notice, if you look very carefully, it actually does read out the word, if you look very carefully right here, Potomac River. So as you guys can see, there's also Analostan Island. I think there's like various other bits of landmarks apparently. I can't quite make out what that word there says, but that's really interesting. But basically, if you guys make your way onto Wikipedia, you will notice there's some very interesting information specifically regarding Chesapeake and the Potomac River. Now, the Potomac River is a major river, for those who don't know, in the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States that flows from the Potomac Highlands in West Virginia to the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. It's 405 miles long, or 652 kilometers long, drainage area of 14,700 square mile, and the fourth largest river along the east coast of the USA. So that's really interesting to think about there. The river forms part of the border between Maryland and Washington, D.C., on the left descending bank on West Virginia, and Virginia on the right descending bank. So that's really interesting there to think about. Now, I'll come on to that in a few moments, but if you guys take a look on the right-hand side of this, Great Falls of the Potomac River. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking, what's this have to do with anything? But if you guys look very carefully, Great Falls, there's also a mention of Little Falls. But if you think about the speech that, if I'm not mistaken, what's his name? That Miller and Ravenov actually mentioned during one of the speeches in the Modern Warfare 3 Zombies intel. There's a specific piece of audio intel that basically mentions when Miller was talking about Ravenov Falls, sorry, not Ravenov Falls, beg your pardon, Liberty Falls. She mentions about Liberty Falls, she said lib, then Ravenov cuts her off. It's like, oh, how do you know? Have you been there? And then she actually concludes that something's actually happened and she's actually been there before, apparently. So this all seems to be too well and good. So Great Falls, Little Falls, why not a Liberty Falls? So I did a bit more digging on this, and apparently I actually came across this, which is Pleasant Power Station. Now, just basically take note, I'm going to show you guys, I'm just going to give you a brief overview. So Pleasant Power Station is a 1.3 gigawatt coal power plant located near Belmont, West Virginia in Pleasant County. The plant is owned by Energy Hub and began operations in 1979, and the power plant was the site of the Willow Island disaster of 1978. Further down, in what was considered to be the deadliest construction accident in US history, Cooling Tower No. 2 collapsed on April 27, 1978 as it was still under construction. 51 workers were killed in the accident. Hold on. So if I go on to the this progress report that was given to us on Call of Duty's Wikipedia from Forsaken, from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, we've got some rather interesting information here. Listen to this. A progress report for the director regarding the progress of another operation. June 1st, 1985, memorandum for the director, who we currently know as Edward Richtofen, from the Secretary of the Executive Office. Subject being the progress report Week 10 test site redacted. He went on to say, and I quote, "It was a big week down here in West Virginia. Our current story went live in the town of redacted. Now we believe at this present moment in time it could well be Liberty Falls, where the citizens were informed that the nuclear power plant had experienced a tower failure and was leaking. Hold on." Now this also sounds very similar to the story which actually did mention, where is it at? Deadliest construction accident in US history, Cooling Tower 2 collapsed on April 27, 1978. So could this be the real life location, if you will, of what exactly happened potentially in the Forsaken intel? So at this time, most of the town has been evacuated and placed in lodgings one county over. We have established a disaster relief fund in coordination with the local government. The county is thankful for generous donation from Jerry's Cats for Kids Foundation. We expect relocations and payments to begin within 2 weeks. As you predicted, a few locals weren't exactly keen on giving up their land and were certain of their rights as American citizens to protect their property. We'll see how they feel once they start construction on the wall. 3 additional venture companies have been established so we can begin to move supplies in, including a shipping company at the West Virginia Public Port Authority, which is crucial to the 5,000 tons of steel they're expecting to be delivered next week. We're still dealing with a shortage of boring machines on the East Coast, which is surprising as we are on coal country, which is now impacting the build schedule for the tunnel network. I'm seeing what we can do to acquire machines from the Midwest, Milwaukee and Indianapolis to lower us a favour, but it will take time to arrange. Lastly, this week was orientation week for the new batch of new hires, 53 scientists, 32 military personnel, 18 operations personnel, 4 custodians and a partridge in a bare tree. We'll see how many make the month. Our retention rate is up to 30% of the latest round. Improvements. That's all for now. Looking forward to your arrival, sir. Now, to back this up, this is what is actually found in-game as part of one of the intels. It's just to back up the facts that this actually was mentioned in game as one of the intel files. Very, very interesting, guys. Let me know what you guys' views and thoughts of that. Now, if you go on to this rather interesting map, which I actually took from the Pleasance Power Station in Wikipedia, zoom in, and you will actually notice, once you've zoomed in, just on the very much the borderline, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the Ohio and West Virginia borderline. You can actually see there's the actual Pleasance Power Station marked on the map. But if I zoom in just a little bit further, do you recognise something here, guys? Green Run. Now, Green Run, believe it or not, if you go into one of the loading screens from a previous Black Ops game, I think it may have been Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2, but anyway, Green Run is actually mentioned as the location for the zombies map, TRANZIT. So let me know what you guys' views and thoughts are of that in the comments box down below. I'm keen to hear what you guys' views and opinions are. If I just go back to the Potomac River search, I came across these two, this specific image in the bottom in this screen right here. Now, interestingly, I've taken a look into this specific location. It turns out that this is actually located in Harper's Ferry, which is also in West Virginia. Now, apparently, doesn't this specific railway bridge look very familiar to you compared to the transit bridge that goes into a cave? Now, I've actually apparently done some research into this, so I'm just going to see if I can find some train bridges. Now, voila. Now, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't this real-life Harper's Ferry Truss Railroad Bridge that runs straight into a tunnel? That looks pretty much more or less matches what we expect to see if you're an absolute transit fan, that the actual train in transit does actually go through a tunnel inside the side of a cliff. So that's really interesting to think about there, guys. Let me know what you guys' views and thoughts are this in the comments box down below. I'm keen to hear what you guys' views and opinions are about this. Then another thing I've actually managed to look into about this is the rather interesting leaning church spire that's mainly found within Transit without the fog, as you guys can currently see on screen. You can actually see that the actual church itself, I don't know why that didn't load there, to be honest. You can actually see the actual symmetrical type of shape. You've got like the what appears to be like a clock face, and then like this spire is kind of like leaning to one side, so to speak. Now, if you take that image, just picture that Transit church in your minds, guys, and match it to this specific church called the Camp Hill Wesley United Methodist Church, again in the same town, you will actually notice that this is more or less the exact same church that the Transit church is actually based off. So that's really interesting, guys. We could potentially see Transit as part of the Liberty Falls map in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Let me know what you guys' views and opinions are of that in the comments box down below. Can you hear what you guys' views and opinions are of that? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button on upload. I'm absolutely mind blown, and I'll see you in the next one.